Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Vasudev Vasutam Devam Kamsachanuna Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Mukam Karoti Vachalam Angum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Last week we started our study of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The 6th chapter is Dhyan Yoga. And in this Dhyan Yoga chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna talks about meditation. A lot of us want to meditate, but most of us who want to meditate fall short of true meditation because we are not prepared. And chapters 3, 4, 5 are preparations for meditation. Bhagavan Krishna summarized that in the first shloka of this 6th chapter. The 6th chapter starts with one shloka, which is a summary of the previous at least three chapters, 3, 4, and 5. And Bhagavan says in this shloka, Karma Yoga, in shlokas 1 and 2, the essence, Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karotiyaha. Most of us are driven. And if the driving force is not there, we simply will not do any action. You know, in India, if a boy doesn't do anything, the formula is get him married. He will start working. It sounds absurd, but when responsibilities fall, what do? Jak marin kaam karu pade. So Bhagavan is saying the one who does action without any force. Most of us are driven, and the driving force is some career, some achievement, something we want to acquire, and these become our dreams and aspirations become the sole force for us to do what we do. You look at all the campuses and the students studying undergraduate, they come over there with a desire, an aspiration to study something, and then they want to study something else. Because what they thought they are going to get out of it, they decide, nah, I don't think that's going to work for me. And there's nothing wrong in it. They're just trying to find out. But we have to face our life head on with some action. But upon doing action, when we realize that doesn't matter what happens, doesn't matter what I receive, what I acquire, what I achieve, I simply want to do an action for the sake of a privilege as a human being to serve. Such a mature thought, when it arises, Bhagavan says that is called anashritaha. Unashritaha, not depending upon karma phala, some desire, some fruit, some aspiration, some goal. And when the person out of a privilege acts, because it is a sheer joy to offer myself to the altar of Bhagavan in action, Bhagavan says, Karyam yaha karoti. Such a person does action. Saha sannyasi cha yogi cha. Bhagavan says, such a person is not ordinary. We think of a sannyasi as somebody just sitting in Himalayas underneath the tree doing nothing. And look what Bhagavan is saying. Bhagavan is saying a sannyasi is the one who does. See, our understanding of sannyas is very different. We think that not doing anything or not having any responsibilities, oh, it's a very good life. Might as well take sannyas. And you know what? Arjuna wants to take sannyas. Who's going to take care of Draupadi and the whole kingdom? So, Bhagavan's definition of sannyas is very, very different. Bhagavan's definition over here is anashrita karma phalam. Karyam yakaroti saha sannyasi. We have to mature to the level that I am ready, willing, and able to do anything that is required. Our Guruji, I remember once in PRC, he said, you know, I was just a naive 19, 20-year-old finishing my undergraduate, and I didn't know what to do with my life. All I knew is I was good at explaining things to others. So I thought I will become a teacher, bus. And to teach something, I have to pick a field. And I picked the field of physics. And Guruji, our Swami Tejomayananji, he said, I studied physics. And in India, this BA doesn't do anything. So I had to do MA. So then masters in physics, I was just starting. And my luck would have it that Swami Chinmayananda, you know, he came to where I was studying. Forget in Madhya Pradesh. Anyway, the name of the city is not coming to my mind. So Gurudev came, and somebody told him that this man is highly learned and he's going to speak in English. So Guruji said, okay, he's speaking in English. I have to teach, and I know only Marathi and Hindi, and English is a little difficult. Everything to study is in English, but let me see. And he went, and he fell in love with the subject matter of Gurudev. English went on side. He said, this is what I've been looking for. And Guruji immediately wrote a letter. I want to see you, and wherever you are, I want to come and study only from you. And he told his parents, I want to study from this sannyasi. And his parents are like, what? No, finish your studies. You're not going anywhere. So he listened to his parents. He finished MA. He gave the degree. He says, see, I did what you wanted me. Now let me go and study from him. And the parents couldn't say no because he did what they told. So his parents said, okay, you go study and you come back. Guruji said, I had gone to ashram to study what Gurudev was talking about, which was Vedanta. I studied it. And for mastering Vedanta, I studied Sanskrit because I had gone 1 year early. So Gurudev himself said, you study Sanskrit, now you've come early because Sanskrit is going to help you in Vedanta. So he said, okay, I will study. He studied. And then he said, I took Diksha. I was posted in Chinmay Mission Kanpur. And that's where I realized that there are different things I have to do. He had to teach Vedanta. He said, I had to some days cook my own food. He said, I had to teach myself music because I like, but there was no music teacher. They needed help in raising funds. I didn't like that one bit. And he told in PRC, my whole life, I have raised money, which is something I never liked, but I learned to accept it. And I did it. If my guru did it, then sometimes I would internally feel, why? So my guru would give me to teach. And I loved teaching, so I taught. But in between, he would drop the clothes and he says, wash and iron. He said, I didn't like ironing, but I did that. And then Gurudev will come from Gnyan Yajna's bundle of cash and checks. He said, count and deposit. He said, ayyo, I didn't like that. I did that. He was talking about sannyas dharma. He said, in my tenure with Gurudev, all the ideas I had of sannyas, Gurudev made sure they were broken just like that. Anashrita karma phalam. A true sannyasi should be willing to do anything. This is what Bhagavan Krishna says, that when we don't have any mental hang-ups, the mind is not caught up in some ideas, desires. Only that quiet mind can meditate. And Bhagavan says, sa sannyasi, such a person's mind, who's willing to do anything. Because see, even if we have one hang up and we close our eyes and meditate, that will come to prick us. That will come to disturb us, bother us. Oh, after this meditation, I have to do this. After this pravachan, I have to do this. Any hang-ups we have, it will squeeze out the joy in living. That is why Bhagavan Krishna says, such a person whose mind is quiet, content, doesn't throw a tantrum inside for any obstacle that may arise, any work that may arise. Saha sannyasi cha yogi. Such a person is yogi, meaning karma yogi. Over here, sannyasi meaning jnani, the one who has risen in knowledge and wisdom, and the one who has risen in dexterity in action is yogi. Nachaniragni cha akriyaha. Not a person who has renounced agni, meaning fire ritual, swaha swaha. Fire rituals are done because of some desires. 99.99% of Vedas are fire rituals, karma kand, and it is out of desires. So a person has no desires. Cha akriya, and also a person who is not sitting idly but willing to engage in this world with work. Such a person is a qualified person for meditation. This is the first shloka, 48 shlokas. Look at the qualification. That doesn't mean we have to become rejected and dejected. Hey, when will I meditate? I have responsibilities, I have desires. We have to keep this in mind, that while we are living life, we have to be focused on goal and purpose. Every so often we have to revisit. Kala kridati gacchati ayu, tadapi na munchati asha vayu. Shankaracharya ji says, asha, desires, are like winds. Kala kridati, the play of time sucks out the vitality of our life. Gacchati ayu, all of a sudden this gray hair comes and angam galitam dashana vihinam jatam tundam vriddam vyat gruhitva dandam, all these things. But desires, continuously taking care of the children, taking care of the family, that is over. Now taking care of the grandkids, that over. Now who will look after the grandkids and their education? And આ કાળનું ચક્કર પતવાનું જ નથી. જ્યાં સુધી આપણે એને ફેંકી નહીં દઈએ ત્યાં સુધી એ ચાલ્યા જ કરવાનું. What to do? We have to give it up. One cycle of raising kids enough. We should let the next generation take care of themselves. So Bhagavan is very clear about a goal. We should be able to sit minimum for 42 minutes every day, because that is the gati of Chandra every day. 42 degrees it moves in the horizon, and our mind is a significator of our mind. The moon is the significator of our mind, sorry. So that much movement of the moon, we should remain still to make sure the mind remains still. And only out of practice it comes, that's all. This is out of practice. Then Bhagavan continues, Yam sanyasamiti prahuhu yogam tam vidhi pandava nahya sanyasta sankalpaha yogi bhavati kaschana. It's a very deep shloka, very, very deep shloka. Bhagavan says, hey Pandava, yam sanyasam iti prahuhu. Arjuna, that which is known as renunciation, sannyas, yogam tam vidhi, understand that to be yoga itself. And what is yoga? Dexterity in action. What is dexterity in action? No hang-ups in doing action. We should be willing to do anything. That's called dexterous. The word ambidextrous, writing with right hand, left hand. So dexterity in action meaning we should have enough in us to inspire to do anything without complaining. So renunciation is the same as the ability to act. we think of these two as polar opposites. Our understanding of renunciation is wash hands, sit down, done, over. Put the feet on coffee table, caramelized popcorn and Netflix. So nice. I did that yesterday. So that's why I'm saying, I'm referring to myself. For me, it was Harry Potter yesterday. What to do? I said, I'm going to today sit and watch. So we all take time out of our life to relax. But permanently, if we find our abode on a lazy boy, then it is a problem. So Bhagavan says the ability to give up internal hang-ups, that is called sannyas. And the ability at the same time for that same mind to engage in action and finding the dexterity to navigate through, Bhagavan says, that person nahi asanyasta sankalpaha yogi bhavati kaschana. When will this arrive? Bhagavan in a negative language says, till today, nobody has achieved this without renouncing a sankalpa. And sankalpa actually is a precursor to even a desire and a thought. It's a very subtle level. You know, when the desires, they appear in our inner equipment as a thought and an idea in the intellect, and then the mind catches that thought. Just like, you know, the native American Indians, they have these wind catchers. The mind is that wind catcher, but the wind of a desire is what it catches. But it has arrived, the desire arrived because there was a tendency for us to act and to enjoy. And Bhagavan says, in a person who has grown in life, they look at the desires as a cause for obstacles. And they give up desires. And if that little even desire to enjoy this, to acquire this, to possess it, it may be vastu, vyakti or paristiti. It may be an object, a situation, or a person. Because our desires work in these three realms. It's either directed towards an object, directed towards a person, or directed towards a situation. And when a person rises and says, you know what? Tabula rasa, I'm a clean slate. Whatever Bhagavan wishes for this equipment to go through, I shall. I have to take care of these kids as a mother or as a father. I'll do my very best. I have to take care of elderly people in the family. I'll do my very best. There are no hang-ups. But there is no additional desire saying that after this is over, I'm going to do this. Aha. That is a trap. When we always say, I would like to do this, that little sankalpa that we make, a very feeble sankalpa, but when we act upon it, it becomes giant. You know, one little snowflake falling in a particular place is enough to start an avalanche. One snowflake, you know that? That's what scientists are saying. Sometimes in a still area, cold winter days in the mountains, and tiny little sound, the vibration is enough to start an avalanche. An avalanche is a little amount of snowfalls, but its movement is enough to send shock waves in all the fresh powder, and in no time, the whole mountain is coming down. This is what a desire is. Imagine one desire is a snowflake right here. And that one little snowflake of a desire, and we say, just a little bit. But we have no idea what kind of karmic bondage it is going to bring. We have no idea. One desire. So Bhagavan saying that till today, nobody has become a sannyasi, a yogi, a dhyana yogi without renouncing sankalpa. So Arjuna, be very alert. If you have to fight the war, fight it. But don't have sankalpa that I am going to destroy Duryodhana exactly like this. Bhima had vowed, I am going to kill Dushasan and give blood to Draupadi. You know, these are sankalpas had created this war. Up to the point where the Kauravas were playing a foul game with the Pandavas. The burning of the palace of Lac. Such an atrocious way of dealing with one's own cousins. Okay, you may not like them, but to have so much hatred that you burn them alive in the palace of Lac. Even then, Pandavas had no sankalpa. But that fateful day, when Draupadi was dragged into the courthouse, where all prominent men of Hastinapur sat, and the 5 Pandavas observed what happened. And out of fury, each one of them makes a sankalpa. And that sankalpa lays the foundation of Mahabharata. No doubt what happened to Draupadi was unspeakable. But now, Arjuna is questioning. I don't want to fight. I might as well leave the battlefield. Let them rule over. But what happened in that Raj Sabha of Dhritarashtra, where all this unfolded? Bhagavan is reminding that Arjuna, our life is because the sankalpas that we make, we don't realize where it's going to lead us to. That day in front of the elders, the 5 brothers made sankalpa. And the 5 brothers have to face the Kauravas. They have to. Sankalpa was done. So Bhagavan says, if you want to meditate, enjoy quiet, peaceful, silent time, be careful of the sankalpas you make. This is very powerful teaching, actually, very powerful. Innocently, we go to help our own son or daughter. Because after all, our own son and daughter, not neighbors. But we see they are married, they have a child, and they have their own way of raising a child. And our methodology is 30 years old now. There will be little friction. A matchbox is filled with 300 matches. There's no fire in it. You take one of those sticks and you hit it. Now you have fire manifested. Friction is what creates the ignition. So, sankalpa is that friction right there. Do I really want this? Do I really want this? And if I do, am I willing to work with the consequences? Then we should enter it. Not only that, we should have knowledge of how to deal with the consequences. Thus, Bhagavad Gita is so beautiful. It's a complete teaching. Because even if we do make sankalpa, Bhagavan still says, how do you walk away from it? That is also there. So, this word sankalpa, I'm taking a very different detour to teach Bhagavad Gita. If I strictly stick with Shankaracharya ji and Shankara Bhashya of Advaita Vedanta, tall order, very difficult. Because he's written it for, the mumukshus who have left their home and come to an acharya and sit down over there in a little quiet place underneath a banyan tree. What banyan tree? We are sitting. વાવાઝોડાની વચ્ચે આપણે બધા બેઠા છે. What do you do? We are sitting in midst of a cyclone, hurricane. So, Bhagavan, I am taking this approach of how to process this for a person who utilizes Bhagavad Gita as a navigation tool. And once we utilize it little bit, then Vairagya dawns, Vivek dawns. Then the second iteration of Bhagavad Gita will be completely different. Continuing. Arurukshor muner yogam karma karanamuchyate yoga rudhasya tasyaiva shamak karanamuchyate. Bhagavan says, Arurukshaha. So, Arurukshaha, a desire to ascend, climb. Munehe, for a muni to climb the ladder of spiritual evolution. Muni, the one who has a desire to evolve, karma karana uchyate. Proper action becomes the cause of climbing the spiritual ladder. Proper action meaning we have to tend to our dharma. We have to finish our duties and responsibilities properly without getting angry, without having a frowny face, without complaining. Karma is very important, action, but not just action, a well thought out action. It is called karma yoga. So karma yoga karanam becomes the cause. Karma karanam uchyate. If it's a high ceiling and we need a 32 feet ladder, which is not even available in Home Depot, we have to go to some rentals. You go to a tool rental place and you said, I want a high lift, a high ladder. And that person will make you sign the documents. You better know how to operate. You better know what to lean it against. Because you don't want to be on the 30th step and the lower starts slipping. That fall is going to be terrible. Changing the light bulb in a high ceiling, we will end up in ER. So Bhagavan says, to climb the spiritual ladder. And while climbing the spiritual ladder, if we fall, the local fall will take us to an ER. But the spiritual fall will take us to a next life. The fall will be little much. So Bhagavan is saying, for a person who climbs, what Bhagavan is indirectly saying is, in spirituality, there are no shortcuts. Don't try to find shortcuts in spirituality. People say, Swamiji, this is very difficult. Sadguru is easy. He's telling us not to listen. Jao karo. Find yourself over there in Coimbatore or in Tennessee and dance away Shivaratri night. Our Gurudev was very clear, because we are in the path of knowledge. When did Gurudev ever, in his 43 years of pravachan, said, take some time out and dance, nacho? He said, there is enough dance. Mother Maya puts us through. Why do you want to dance on top of that? Aren't you fed up of the dance given by Maya? This is what Gurudev said. Intelligently approach life. In Advaita Vedanta, Vyas Maharshi Ji's, the Prasthana Trayi, it is well thought out. And in this thought, we have to approach it properly. We want to climb that ladder and we want to skip some steps. Very difficult. Just few years ago, this one man in Sacramento climbed El Capitan Half Dome in Yosemite without ropes, you know. They've made a National Geographic documentary on it. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. But do you know what nerves it takes to climb Half Dome? A straight slate of granite just by the fingers trying to be like a spider? An average person cannot do that. Many are rock climbers who are professionals. They don't even dream about doing this. I myself, when I saw that documentary, I was holding on to the seat, and last 20 minutes, I switched it off. I cannot take it. I'm not climbing. I was watching it. And my stomach was going in knots. He's climbing that. The mental strength, you know, physical strength, though ample people in this world have the physical strength. But what is required is the mental strength. And Bhagavan is addressing mental strength. Is a yogi is a mental strength. We have to conquer our mind. No one else will conquer it for us. And we have to systematically conquer our mind. It is possible, but we have to do it properly. And that's why Bhagavan is saying, Aru Rukshoho Munehe Yogam. Munehe is Dhyan Yogi, Karma Karana Uchyate, or Jnana Yogi. Jnana Yogi and Dhyan Yogi are one and the same. As we unfold this chapter, we will see. And Bhagavan says, this karma becomes the cause. So why do I spend so much time? Because we must take delight in doing what we are doing. I also get frustrated. You can ask Prakash, you know, there are frustrations, all of us. But then when I'm by myself, and when I'm looking at Gurudev, and I'm every day I do Ashtottara, I remember, I said, why am I here? What am I doing? Because each one of us has a unique life. I have to be true to the vows that I have taken with Gurudev. You have to be true with the vows you have taken with your own spouse, family, children, responsibilities. All of us have these karmic debts, and we must tend to them properly. We must. For that sets a stage for our future step. Karma karana muchyate. And then yoga rudasya tasyaiva. And when we climb and when we reach up there, shama karana muchyate. Once that person climbs half dome and reaches up there, and when that person climbed and reached and sat, what runs in that mind? Pure bliss, exhilaration that, wow, did I do that? Did I really do that? Wow. And I bet you this person must have looked up and thanked Bhagavan. I guarantee you, I made it, because there are ample of times if I had fallen, he allowed me to reach this victory. So when we reach that state in yogahood, upon reaching it, what is it? Shama karanamuchyate. That mind is in reverence, in awe, silent, at the feet of silence. The silent mind surrenders to silence. That is called Shama. Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan. These are the Shat Sampatti, 6 wealth. First one is Shama, but over here is the superlative degree of Shama, the quiet mind. Another name for a quiet, absolute, still mind is called sannyas, no desire. So when person reaches the acme of fulfillment of all karmic debt, all karma done, there's still more to go, but there is a deep, deep sense of gratitude fulfillment. Now starts our true journey of meditation when we have reached that. Now upon that silent mind, meditation. What is meditation? Who do I meditate upon? Where do I meditate? Why shall I meditate? What do I get out of it? Isn't this silent mind enough? Isn't this peace enough? Silent mind is a tool. Mind is still there. We have to go beyond mind. So now starts meditation. We will see this in 2022. We will start 2022 with meditation. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Have a wonderful holiday.